Australia's financial problem explained in 7 minutes. If you live in Australia, then there are 3 big problems facing all of us in the next 10 years when it comes to your employment and your ability to provide for yourself and your family. The first problem is that debt and baby boomers are strangling our economy. The national government debt of Australia right now is $466 billion. This does not include what we owe personally through mortgages, credit cards and car loans, but the $466 billion equates to a debt of approximately $20,000 per citizen. This is money that must be paid back to investors that have loaned the Australian government money. The interest on this debt costs the country $1.2 billion every month, around $40 million a day, which equates to a brand new primary school every 8 hours. So, because of having to pay back this debt, there are assets like primary schools, for instance, which cannot be built. In short, Australia is living beyond its means. Now you might think that as long as Australia can pay back the money it owes, then everything will be fine. However, one big problem lies in the way of Australia paying back its debt. Baby boomers. Baby boomers are basically those people who are aged 50 and over. What's the problem? Baby boomers are retiring at 800 people per day. In 1969, there were 7.5 people working for every person over 65. In 2014, it was 5 people for every person over 65. And by 2050, there will be only 2.7 people working for every person over 65, which means we have a spiraling debt problem that is not being paid off and a workforce that is rapidly shrinking in size. And that means in order to pay for the debt, taxes will have to increase on a smaller working population. But that's not the only problem. Problem number 2 is this: sources of employment are drying up, and largely because computers are beginning to impact employment in a major way. Because of artificial intelligence, more and more tasks can be done by computer. Respected futurist Peter Diamandis, recently named as one of the world's 50 greatest leaders by Fortune magazine, says this: because of a new technology called artificial intelligence, AI, the sort of technology behind Siri, the world is going to change forever. He says artificial intelligence can already do most tasks better than humans. 50% of service jobs could be lost in 10 years. Robots can think better than humans, they can translate and understand 85 languages. The whole world will have the answers to every question at any time and anywhere. This may sound exciting, however the consequences of such technology will have a major impact on your life. The Committee for Economic Development of Australia predicts that more than 5 million Australian jobs will disappear within 10 to 15 years, all thanks to artificial intelligence. Futurist Dr. Robert Goldman claims that legal advice from artificial intelligence will soon replace lawyers, allowing 90% accuracy compared to 70% accuracy when done by humans. He claims that computers already help diagnose cancer 4 times more effectively than by humans alone. Dr. Goldman also claimed that self-driving cars will change the industry forever. Taxi drivers, gone. Bus drivers, gone. Truck drivers, gone. He predicts that most car companies will go broke. He predicts that up to 80% of jobs will disappear in the next 20 years, but that most people won't notice until it's too late. In fact, the world's first robot burger joint has just opened in San Francisco. The robot does everything from cooking the meat, adding toppings and ingredients, and putting it all together into a bun. It replaces all the cooks and the front of store staff, and the store only needs one employee, the manager. So if you think you're not replaceable, think again. Unemployment in Australia has increased from 5% to 6.2% in just 3 years. Have the signs of employment drying up already started? More alarmingly, it currently takes 75% of unemployed Australians 6 months to find work again. Could you last 6 months without a job? That brings us to problem number 3. The majority of superannuation funds are too low. Each retiring Australian requires $545,000 to enjoy a comfortable retirement, partly funded by the age pension, according to the Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia. To be fully self-funded, most would need at least twice that amount, $1 million. However, the average superannuation balance for Australians aged 65 is about $292,000 for men and $138,000 for women. This leaves a shortfall of over $250,000. Will you have enough? The average Australian will live 23 years after the retirement age of 65, but 4 in 5 people will only have enough money to live on until 75. So most Australians face a 13-year shortfall in retirement funding. Who pays for this? The taxpayer, of which there are going to be fewer and fewer every year. So Australia doesn't have a financial problem, it has 3 of them. Debt and baby boomers are strangling the economy, sources of employment are drying up, and superannuation funds are too low. So what can you do to prepare for the future? Firstly, share this video with your family and friends, but more importantly, share it with your local federal minister for Parliament. Tell them you're not happy with our situation and ask them what action they are taking on these issues. Tell them that ignoring the problem won't make it go away, and tell them to stand up for Australia's economy before it's too late. Secondly, get educated on the future. Find out what terms like artificial intelligence mean, and then let your family and friends know too. It's not too late. Together as a country, we can shape what decisions our government makes so that our children and grandchildren aren't left to fix a bigger and bigger problem. And thirdly, preparation is your best defense. Start looking for supplemental income. Evaluate good opportunities to start your own business. Make sure any business opportunity has low costs, low risks, and has a way to use the internet to reach a much bigger market than your local community. Lastly, if you'd like to know more about this critical issue and about what you can do right now to make sure you're not a victim to the changes ahead, join the free training at theshockingtruth.com.au. That's www.theshockingtruth.com.au.